And here you can see the level of responses. The highest level of responses from UK, then in New Zealand, Bahrain, Canada, Germany, India, and Ireland, and the rest of the countries. In this survey, we asked the respondents 6 questions. Very good question. They won't take more than 5 minutes. And here I will show you a sample of the responses we got. For example, for question number 1, what do you see as the key global challenges or megatrends over the next 20 years? One of the major concerns was the aging, competing with emerging countries or direct countries, Brazil, Russia, India, and China, yes, and environmental issue. Here I have something to highlight. Being a person from the Middle East, there are some other concerns for us, some other problems we have. For example, on aging, we don't have this issue. We have another issue. It's the opposite. In some of the developed state countries, around 40% of the population they are below 30, which means that they need job, they need some sort of job creation process, they need some education. So it's like there are some issues, regional issues, not as global issues. So here we want to know your feedback, we want to know your view about that. And the second question, how can benchmarking support influence the global challenges or mega trends? Some of the respondents said, use benchmarking to support future predictions. That means they want to use the benchmarking to know what will happen next, how we can be prepared to be the next shift. Another said developing renewable energy, as Ronald mentioned. The issue of energy is a very important issue over the next few years. The oil prices is decreasing, the demand of oil is increasing, so we need some alternatives. And question number 3, what would you like the future of benchmarking to be? Does benchmarking have a future? At least till now we have, the responses so far, we know that the benchmarking will have a future. Some, they said, they need more accessible, they need the benchmarking to be more accessible for organization. In other terms, they need to be more available. They can access the benchmarking. Another said more use in the public sector. So we can review that the benchmarking is widely used in the private sector. Now people demand to be used in the public sector as well. And we can see the signs of this already starting. On question number 4, what methods, tools, and technologies do you think will be used for the benchmarking in 5 years? So in 5 years' time, most of the responses said social media will be used. The others said online communities, forums, and databases, which is clearly the trend of the government. On question number 5, what methods, tools, and technologies do you think will be used for benchmarking in 20 years? So this is more futuristic outlook. Another, they said again, the social media will have a role. Other people say we will like to see standard-based framework, something like an ISO standard for the benchmarking, something similar to ISO, more structured, more formal. Another said mobile application and video conferencing, so that to save the travel time, to save the meeting time, we should utilize the video conferencing and mobile applications. On the last question, considering all the above, do you have a big views of what future role and function of global benchmarking should be? So do we have a role? Yes, we have. At least collaboration between members and educating businesses. So this will be the role of the GDM, the collaboration between members, educating and spreading the word of benchmarking between the member countries. survey is still open. You can access it at bip.my/gbn2030. This is just short form of URL, so it will be easy for you. Please note it down. We would like to know your feedback, even if you don't have any answer or any of the questions. There is a place to fill your feedback. Even if you don't have any answer for the question, we would like to know your feedback. And as I said, it will be running until the 1st of January 2011. That's it. Thank you.
Thank you, Arnold. May I now request Dr. Paul to come and share his views, his personal views on benchmarking 2030.
Okay, good afternoon everybody. I will now try to give you some insights of what we are doing at Fraunhofer in improving not only benchmarking technologies and methodologies, but also other technologies which are around benchmarking. It's a clear vision how benchmarking could be improved until 2030 by also taking into account what the previous speaker said in the area of megatrends and also survey results. If we look from another angle, If we look on from another angle of one of the big megatrends, which is the increase of population worldwide. You see here that in the next years, as already stated by Ronald, the population will increase until 2050 by 1/3, after 2/3, until 2070, it will be really double of today's population. If everyone in the world would live like most of us in the Western countries, like people in Europe, the United States, or in the Middle East, we would need at least 3 globes to feed these 7 or 10 billion people. 3 globes to feed them. That means there must be ideas how to reduce the growth of the population or how to increase parallel the productivity of resources. There's one clear objective, and this is mostly from an engineer's perspective, not from a social science perspective, that to stop the continuous growing of population, because there is a natural end of it, to stop or to decrease the growth, the standard of living must be increased. And the past showed that if the standard of living increased tremendously, and that's what we see in countries like Germany, we have no growth rates anymore, our population is shrinking, and per family we have 1.22 childs, which is really quite little. But this is parallel related to a high standard of living. But if this high standard of living is achieved, we will have a problem with our natural resources. But because all these people need to be fed, we need a higher productivity of our resources. And this, at the end, is a technical question. And this technical question was also already mentioned under the megatrends. We need a higher productivity of resources. And only by this, by having higher standard of living, by having higher standard of resources, the human beings are able to meet the challenge we are facing in the next 30, 50, or 70 years. Now I come to the resource of knowledge. How valid is knowledge, and how much does it decrease over time? And benchmarking is related to knowledge exchange, to knowledge sharing. Best practice sharing is nothing else than knowledge sharing. And if you see here, the school knowledge, after 10 years, nearly 50% is still relevant. If you look at the university knowledge, it is nearly the same. Less than 50% of the university knowledge is relevant after 10 years. The technological and the professional knowledge even is non-existing after 5 or 10 years. Because there are so rapid changes. And when we are talking about benchmarking, we need to make sure that the knowledge which is newly created is transferred as fast as possible to most of the stakeholders involved in such technology. That means there are new developments coming every year, and they need to be transferred to others because this knowledge is obsolete quite fast. What are the potentials for best practice sharing and knowledge management? And here we are speaking about the future. What are the future needs for best practice sharing and for knowledge management? On the one hand, it needs to be related to the increasing fluctuation. Just during lunch, we had the talk that many Kuwaitis are leaving the country for studying somewhere. Hopefully most are come back. But due to the brain drain problem, people are staying elsewhere in the world. And also in terms of businesses, my father stayed in the same business nearly 30 years. Today, if you ask students who are leaving the university, they say, oh, maybe I start in a consultancy, 5 years later I probably change to an oil company, and later on we'll see, I don't know. But I don't want to stay maybe 30 years in the same business. That means this is an issue we need to discuss. How benchmarking in the future can assure, combined by knowledge management, that the knowledge stays in the business even when people are leaving the business. Short product life cycles. I bet most of you know that in the 70s or 80s, a typical Mercedes-Benz had a life cycle of 10 to 20 years. Today, it is less than 3 years. Every 3 years, you see a new Porsche. Every 3 years, you can buy a new S-Class Mercedes or a BMW. That means the knowledge is that fast created, best practices are that fast shared, and also other businesses are able to copy or to transfer good practices from others. And also what we heard, the global perspective is the big issue, like exporting or changing company sites from Europe to Asia, from America to Asia, from Japan to China, or to South America or India. That means there are big challenges, and this is, on the other hand, also a big challenge for benchmarking and knowledge management. What we developed a couple of years ago are the 3 major levels how knowledge and best practices can be shared and stored. And on the bottom line, you see the information technology. And what you heard also in the result presentation of Ahmad is that databases do play a major role in terms of benchmarking and best practice exchange. But at the end, they're just an enabler. The knowledge and the best practices from the databases, from KPIs, from lessons learned, from other best practice solutions, need to be transferred over standardized processes to the human beings. Because they, at the end, are applying the best practices. Therefore, it is the employees who are the bearers of knowledge and best practices. The processes, as you can see here, business processes are the application fields of content and knowledge, and the IT provides the relevant information. But at the end, it's only the platform. Also, if you look among different enterprises, there are 3 major levels. One is to compare organizations and structures and models. On the other hand, is to transfer best practice information and knowledge, and it is to connect IT infrastructure and IT applications. And now I will bring a new word here in this conference, which is interoperability.